Hi, one and all. Wanted to welcome you to today's session where we get a chance to look under the hood at one of our amazing products. My name's Teresa and I'm Head of Education and Marketing here at FitPro, and we are joined by the amazing Lynne Briggs, who I have had the pleasure of working with for a number of years on a product that we both love and wanted to talk to you about today. Hi, Lynne.
Hello. That was a nice intro. Thank you, Teresa.
And it wasn't even planned either.
I don't know how to follow that now.
Well, look, like I said, I really wanted to get under the bonnet of MOSSA. It's something that I have been a massive fan of for a long, long time, and have had the absolute pleasure of being a national trainer for. One of the things about our industry, obviously, it changes all the time. And one of the things I really believe is that MOSSA has stayed abreast of that and all the changes. And so by getting underneath the bonnet and really exploring it, I think it's going to show people the opportunities that they have to bring it into their sort of repertoire. So, Lynne, tell me a few things about you that people might want to know.
Me? Well, my role is, well, I look after MOSSA. I look after whatever part of MOSSA that might be. It could be the instructors, it could be the operators, it could be the trainers, the assessors. I kind of look after the whole thing. So my DNA is MOSSA through and through. Like, I'm up from up north, as you probably could tell, and we would say it's like ingrained in a Blackpool stick of rock. MOSSA.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. So let's find out a little bit more about it. So let's talk about some advantages for the instructor first of all.
Okay, so for the instructor, they can actually own their own license with MOSSA. So it's actually your license that can go in your back pocket and you can pretty much take anywhere. So instructor owned, which is fab. We also still run the operator license as well. But in terms of advantages, apart from that, which is massive because it lets you run your, basically lets you run your own business. The advantage in terms of the benefits, whether you're working for an operator or you take your own license, are pretty much the same. We now have online training, which is really great because it's actually setting a live training, a recorded live training. So you can learn at your own pace and you have like up to 30 days to do that, which people are really happy. We've had somebody who will do it in 24, 48 hours. And then other people will take the full 30 days. So it's great in that respect. We don't have any mandatory workshops that people have to go to. All our education, and it's quality education, Teresa, as you well know. It's really good quality education, and it's on each quarterly release. So that gets rid of the need to travel, lose pay, etc., etc. The program is really inclusive. Our instructors are actually taught to teach to the back row. So it's about adaptation and making sure that everybody is included in the experience of the workout, which is being a massive advantage to us. And also, you said that MOSSA are always like out there with everything. And over the recent years, the programs have been as much about movement as they have been like fitness for fitness's sake. Does that make sense? So this is about movement health. This is about getting from floor to standing. This is about rotation. This is about everything that you need to mimic everyday life movements that you have and do. So yeah, it's great. It's great for instructors.
The programming for me, from being an instructor in 30 years, almost 30 years, not quite. What I would say is the programming is immensely intelligent. And one of the reasons I was lucky enough to audition a few years ago, as you remember, to become part of the team. And genuinely, I wanted to go in and find out about MOSSA. It was as much as you auditioning me and vice versa. I wanted to know if it fit with me. And what I saw was that flawless programming. It was not about just getting the fitter, which of course we know is just a very small minority. This is about getting more people moving better for life. And that is so apparent in the programming. It's even in the you know, and I'm sure we'll come to this, even in when you see you're learning the new programming, they actually show 3 different options. So
Yes.
you know it's not just what one of the worst things in the industry is one size fits all. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's what they show.
Yeah.
And you learn in the programming to really empower, enable people to move better for longer
Absolutely.
and stuff. So yeah, 100%.
It's funny to see really when you think back. I mean, the strap line is let's move,
Yeah.
and in the current climate, what is all the focus on? Moving, getting people moving, and it's just, I mean, it's kind of the perfect fit for the current climate as well. It's mad. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I heard you mention obviously about the instructor license, which I think is truly massive. It's for me, it's the flexibility. I was really excited when that came about. It's great to hear so many instructors starting to sort of explore that idea. They just didn't know. They thought in a way that you have to be stuck with one thing or to one place. But with that in mind, you did also say that this is a really great product for operators. So what are the advantages to the operator? What do they get?
Yeah, well, can I just kind of reverse a little bit here? Because the other massive advantage to the instructor in the community is that they can actually take it out to the community. If your business has pivoted to online, we've taken care of all that as well. So there's no additional licenses needed if you're teaching from your kitchen to your community. It's all taken care of. So for the instructor, there are so many different opportunities and avenues they can go down. For the operator, this is fabulous because they can actually white label a product to stay on brand. So you may be a group that has got their own fitness brand or group exercise brand. Well, you know what? Most are okay with that. If you want to brand it to stay with your offering, that's fine too, as long as you stay with the content, of course. So obviously we've got flexible licensing options too, as in you can take, the operators can take a facility license. They can mix and match. They could have the core programs and the facility license with half a dozen or more instructors, and they might choose another program that they might only want one person who particularly wants to deliver the program, or they've got a particular area or community that want that program. They can do that too. So it's so flexible. It's so flexible. Obviously, there's the issue on the PPL. Our music is PPL license free, so there's a massive saving for operators whose instructors might have been using original music. But the reason, I'm going to say this right, I'm going to put this out there now. The reason that it is non-original music is because the content people and the music people work together to engineer the music and content to work perfectly with each other. So, for example, if in Group Ride, which is our studio cycling program, if the content needs what we would call a ramp, so it needs the music to go faster for a period of time, guess what? We can do that. If we need to slow it down, same thing, we can. If we need to lose an 8 count because, oh gosh, that's just a bit awkward, that means it's not equal on both, we can do it. If we need to get a transition, a positioning, we can do it. And talking to Kathy, who kind of heads up all that development side of programming, she said to us a little while back, do you know what? If you gave me the choice of original or non-original, as we are now, I would go with the non-original because it's perfectly engineered for us. So there's not only a cost saving, there's a quality issue as well.
100%.
So so obviously operators looking at cost, if they're looking at their cost centers, that in terms of cost alone is a massive advantage to them. We don't tie them in forever. There's no lengthy tie-in with the operator license. And because the content is so on point, they absolutely know that they're getting bang for their buck.
Absolutely. And they know. So first of all, the instructors are sort of taught to an exceptional level with amazing programming, but then they get this education, which you said is, I mean, it is really killer good. I mean, it really, really is. So they know, don't they, that the quality of the class they're going to be delivering is going to be extraordinarily high, without question. That's great.
Yeah, and you know, alongside of that, whether you're an instructor, depending on which avenue you're going down, or you're an operator, each of the releases comes with a campaign. So you can adopt a campaign, either just for your group exercise, or it might be throughout the club. So you know, it's just not the next one or the next one or the next one. No. It's actually a campaign. So that is just like, it's there for you. It's done. And
what you mean by you mean like when you say a campaign, you mean the marketing is taken care of, i.e. there's social media things that all marry up with the theme of the releases. I mean, I get to see it behind the scenes, and anybody who's an instructor or who has that license it's accessible to them, and it's so easy to find. It's all done for you, because a lot of the time we think, you know, if I'm taking on the license, but I'm going to have to create this and, you know, do all the marketing. It's all done for them, isn't it? It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. You know, as soon as people sign up to the programs, they get access to those resources, and there's a heck of a lot more which we haven't got time to talk about that's on that platform for them today as well.
Absolutely. I'm going to roll on to the next question. I think you've answered most of this, but what are the key standouts of MOSSA programs?
For everybody, the fact that they are actually periodized. So each quarter, the theme, there will be a different theme running through. So, you know, it could be like, for example, this could be about rotation. So the whole theme of that release might be about rotation. It might be, as I mentioned before, from actually focusing on floor to standing. But there's always a theme to each of the releases. I think I probably have said a lot of the advantages. For me, the biggest standout though has to be the market testing. So what MOSSA do is, you know, these aren't programs that are put together at head office and ticked off. You know, they're not. They are tested in the field. So they're tested by real instructors with real participants for 2 to 3 weeks in a normal class, so in the normal studio, sports hall or whatever. Instructors are selected throughout globally, so throughout the world, if you like, different territories, and they test the program for content. So you know what the movements are, which you know what's in each track, and music. So they test on 2 areas, and the guys at head office are data mad. They've got data going back to when the dinosaurs were born. You know, they will see patterns emerge. But the really good thing about this is, you know, you're looking about around 7,000 pre-COVID, around 7,000 participants worldwide. So for an operator or an instructor thinking about taking on these programs, you have got that you know, you've got that reassurance that actually this has gone through the most rigorous testing process ever. Because if there is anything that comes through when the feedback, and they do, the participants feedback to the instructors feedback to MOSSA. I mean, there are Zoom calls left, right, and centre going on. If there is something that's like maybe something a bit clunky, say it's just a transition in group percentaging, it's a little bit awkward, they will adapt it. And you know, this, I don't believe this has ever happened. If something really doesn't hit the grade, and you know they're wanting, what's been coming out lately, they've all been like 9.1, 9.2, 9.7, 9.8 out of 10. The minimum, the minimum is much less than that. But if something really isn't hitting the spot, they would bin it and start all over again. And you know what? That's a company that really cares about what's going out there, in my view. So that's a massive tick in the box for me. I don't think anybody else in this area does that.
No, it's really apparent, because when you go to teach it, there are no clunky transitions. The music marries with the movements so beautifully. It's just like, it is like, you know, that's like were meant to be together. You know, it's like they're soulmates. The music and the movement just matches. First of all, because they can engineer, because they've got so much, you know, intelligence with movement, and there's so much behind that. But also they can manipulate the music to work it so it does, they marry.
Perfect. And this is all done 6 months before the instructors get their hands on the releases. So, you know, they're so, they're so on point with everything. And you know what, I have to say at this point, they're an absolute pleasure. The team are an absolute pleasure to work with. Really, they're just lovely.
And you're all right to work with as well, Lynne. Just saying.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. I'll tell
you. You've been filled, haven't you?
Okay, question 3. What has been the response from sort of training? What sort of things have you been hearing?
In terms of from the instructors who've been through the programs?
Yeah.
They're loving the flexibility of learning, you know, because we do offer, just to make the point, we do offer what we call transition training for people who are certified in certain pre-choreographed programs. We offer at the moment a free transition from that program to the other. Now, that does not mean they have to give up their original program, absolutely not. But if they want to have MOSSA in their repertoire, a certain MOSSA program in their repertoire at this point in time, we're offering that transition for free. So that's great. But both transitions and full initial programs, we've been offering online primarily because of COVID, but actually it's gone down a storm, you know, because people can learn at their own pace. So they're loving that. They're loving that. They're loving the inclusivity of the programs. They absolutely love the music. I mean, like we just said, I mean, for fear of repeating ourselves, this music is developed and engineered to be in the class situation. You know, it's not music you play in your car like you do on Spotify. It's been developed for the studio. So we've had a lot of really, really good feedback on the quality of the content, quality of the music, the support as well, actually, from FitPro.
I'm glad you said that, because you are the support, and I know, you know, I'll be honest with everyone who's listening, watching, a lot of the time, you know, when we get these amazing testimonials, particularly about you, you don't want to shout about it, but actually
it's what we do.
I know, yes, and that's what FitPro are about, which is support. But yeah, I've seen the testimonials, I've seen them.
Yeah, you know what, Teresa? Sometimes I do a little bit of it.
I know.
In private, because it means that we've done our job, you know, and. Yes. I just want to get these amazing programs out there. And until people actually do them, it doesn't make sense to anybody. You know, why? But once they've done them,
that's it. It's actually experiencing them, and just, you know, I mean, people who know me know that I support pre-choreographed programming and also freestyle. I think there's a lot of people in the industry that think you have to do one or the other, and there's not room. You know, I've got to be honest, I teach, or previously have taught before I took on this full-time role. I was a tutor helping people come in at level 2. And there were some people who were like, I want to choreograph, and it was wonderful. And there were some people going, even though we taught them the skills of how to choreograph, they were like, please give me something that is just done for me and I can deliver it like an absolute, you know, winner. And so I think what we're trying to say here is that this programming is immense. What it doesn't do is it doesn't squash you as a personality in any way. It lets you shine, and you can still learn pre-choreographed programming and still also be a freestyle instructor. You don't have to jump into one camp. You can be in both.
Do you know what, Teresa? Do you know what? If I was a studio coordinator, I would have a mix of different types of programs, workouts on the timetable. I absolutely would, because those people come into us that want different things too. They absolutely do. But obviously, the feedback also has been that they're loving the instructor license because they've had the shackles put off.
Yes.
You know, for many years, the community instructors had wanted to do these sort of programs, but it was really difficult and very, very expensive to get any type of license to do that, you know, including from ourselves. And it's like kids at Christmas. I love it, absolutely love it. It's like, wow, oh, thank you. And talking to people and them talking to me and sharing those experiences that they've had or they're looking forward to, it's just lovely. It's just absolutely lovely.
Absolutely. Now, you were talking about initial training, which for some people, say for example, they've never ever done any pre-choreographed sort of workouts before, so they would do initial training, wouldn't they?
Yes.
So there are some sort of maybe similar programs that they could step into from a transition. So maybe they've taught something similar beforehand, they can transition. So that's right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about how they get their education quarterly. How's that delivered?
The quarterlies, all the education. So as I said previously, that we don't have any mandatory quarterlies, because the feedback that most of the US, and I have to say, I probably would agree with this, is that, you know, a lot of instructors had to travel great distances, maybe had to give up, get class cover, you know, so they were losing money, spending money, maybe even having to have hotel accommodation. That MOSSA decided to go down the route of having the education on each release. So that education can be, it tends to be generic across all of the programs, but it could be just related to a specific program if there's something that the guys want to share with us. And of course you've got that, that's there permanent. You know, you can go back and revisit that, and our instructors are encouraged to do that. But yeah, it's really amazing. It's great. It's great. And you know, we've got some really very experienced people on their advisory board when we're looking at education and content. You know, we've got so many really good physiologists and exercise specialists.
And actually the education that they'll learn thanks to MOSSA is going to help them in other programs, in their freestyle, if they're a gym instructor or a PT, whether it's something like, you know, how to teach a squat, or it's how to do this movement, or it's how to explore this. You know, it's fantastic. But I think what's important to say is how they get that. So do you want to talk about the app?
Oh yeah, oh, sorry, silly me. Yes, sorry, I was somewhere else on that, wasn't I? Yeah, all the whole release is downloadable onto an app. So you've got the content, the education, the music. The music's broken. We can go track by track. In terms of getting that onto an MP3 player, that comes separately, actually, by email, so that can be loaded into the likes of iTunes. So that will come separately. The releases come out really early, like almost 2 months before release, at least 6 weeks. But the music doesn't. The music comes a little later, so people can't go chomping, you know, galloping ahead of the scheduled release time. But yeah, and so yeah, it's so user friendly.
Oh yeah, 100%. Program notes are on there. They've got little QR code. It's really, really clever. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. We're up with the kids.
yeah, absolutely. So tell me, how did FitPro become involved with MOSSA?
Right. So up until 2005,
yes,
BTS BTS in the US had the Les Mills agents.
Yeah.
So when they went their separate ways, BTS then became MOSSA. MOSSA is Italian for movement. So again, we go back to that strap line again, and moving. So they became MOSSA. But at the same time as they went their separate ways, a great many of the original
developers,
choreographers, but the development team came over to MOSSA. So that's why MOSSA is also there with cutting edge workouts. because they've got some of the same people gone over there as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And how long have you been working with MOSSA now yourself?
Years.
Yeah, that many years. Yeah, absolutely. It's a while, right?
So yeah, we've at FitPro, you know, we've had these programs for since 2014.
Yeah. And that's the thing with FitPro, we're a massive family of loads of different things, and that's, you know, what we're trying to talk about today, so that we can, I said, look under the bonnet of one of the products, and we are, you know, MOSSA is powered by FitPro, and we are this lovely family of things, and that's good. I'm going to go for our next question. So,
oh really?
yes, can you tell me a little bit more about the program and content? So maybe just mention some of the different
programs.
Yeah, I think that would be nice.
Okay,
yeah.
This is a test, isn't it, Teresa? Can she remember them all?
Tattooed on her arm.
Right. So, don't put me on a timer on this. Please don't put me on a timer. So we have Group Last, which is a very athletic program, cardio strength program, utilising the step, because again, the origins of MOSSA were the step company. So it's not a step workout as such. It's not highly choreographed. In fact, we get a lot of blokes to this.
Yeah.
Men like it because of its simplicity, but it's athleticism. Is that a word? Athleticism.
Yes, athleticism. Absolutely.
Yeah. Very clean. It's very it's a really popular one of the really popular workouts. The ever popular Group Power is a barbell weighted body weight class, and there are a lot of similar programs out there. I think that the law of Group Power is that we move in Group Power, we move in all 5 planes of movement. So again, there's a lot of stuff that's mimicking everyday life. So or ever popular. Yeah. And what's getting a lot of 10 out of 10s at the moment is Group 5, because Group 5 is it would be the go-to if you needed a really had an awful day at work and you just want to get it out of your system. That way, other people want to do like mind body, but if you want that, the participants, the instructors are telling me their participants just completely love it. It's that fusion of martial arts and boxing moves, but it's also training for inside and outside of the octagon. So there's a lot of drills and stuff interlinked in there that you would do to train to be a boxer or a martial artist. It's the one that makes people smile.
Yes,
and been loving the music for that. Absolutely. We on the other side, opposite, we have got Group Centre G, which is our mind body program. Again, I'd say, compared to some of the other programs that are out there, it might be a little bit more dynamic. Would you agree with me in terms of the way it flows and moves?
Beautiful.
It is. I know, and I have a soft spot for the music for Centre G.
The music is beautiful. I mean, sorry,
I know
again, but it marries. If I pride myself on choreographing well, but there are moments where I think, damn, they've done it again. How have they managed that? I'm just like, and the thing is, you get to, explore and express it yourself. It's a beautiful thing to take part in, but to be able to make other people move in that way is wonderful. So it's kind of that yoga Pilates-y type thing where it's beautiful.
Yeah, I think everybody needs a bit of Centre G in their life, don't they?
What about a bit of Group Groove?
Well, yeah, we do Groove. Can I just say one more before I get to Groove? Before I get to Groove, can I just mention our studio cycling program, which is Group Ride, and its stablemate is R30, Ride 30. So the content is just so good. So I'm actually a certified Ride R30 instructor myself, so I have to give it a bit of a plug. But that actually, just to let people know, that comes on a dual license. So if you train for R30, if you train for Ride, whether it's a facility license or an instructor license, you get both programs. You have to buy both releases, but you do get both programs. Yeah. All of those that I've just mentioned are transitionable from certain other pre-choreographed programs. which obviously I can talk to people about if they're interested. But they are transitionable. Now, groove is, oh gosh, I can't tell you the number of instructors who say to me, "Oh my God, I just groove around my kitchen." You know, they love it, and you know, it's not a soft option that people. It's really not a soft option.
No.
Because I could show you now. I've had one of our instructors who's just gone through group groove. It's her third program, so she's doing group groove now. She sent me this sweaty mess, and I said, "Oh my God, have you just done fight?" She went, "No, groove."
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just a fusion of different dance styles, and it's fun, and you know, it makes people feel good. It's a great program. We have group core, which if you've ever done a core class, this is like off the scale. You know, this is shoulder all the way down to hip, utilizing standing. We use towels. We use a towel. We can use plates. It's a fabulous shorter workout. It's only about 28 minutes, not even half an hour. Yeah. But it's a great, everybody, you know, that does cores, like, I've never ever done a core class like that before.
The first time I ever did that, Lynn, I couldn't believe holding on to a towel.
I know.
I was like, I was a bit like, really?
As if?
And I was like, oh, I have activated a whole load of different things. And it wasn't like the 1,000 crunches. It was intelligent movement that really did work the core, hence the name. Yes, sorry, I butted in there.
I have one more to talk to you about that we've got here, and one more that we can do with the online training, and that is group active, which I know is a particular favourite of yours, and it's becoming a very firm favourite of mine. Group active is a fusion of some work on the step, some conditioning work with weights. It's got balance in it, and it's got, you know, you stretch. It's for people who want a little bit of everything. It's great. So if you're time restricted, it's a great workout. If you're not sure about whether you're going to like something, it's a little bit of everything. It just ticks all boxes, and I remember the first time I did it, because I thought, oh, again, watching it isn't like doing it, and you know, I've seen it a couple of times out there. But oh my goodness, when
absolutely,
I had to phone our director and say, I found a new favourite.
Yeah, exactly. You get a light bulb moment, don't you, when you try things out for yourself? You do, and you know, again, you could think, oh, it's a soft option. It's not. It's a great workout.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is because there's lots of variety.
Yeah.
There ain't a chance you're ever going to get bored. Your body's not going to get bored, and it is a great. Like, if you never did another program in the rest of your life, you would still get fitter and move better with that. But it is this lovely transition stage. So say, for example, if someone's never done something like group power or group blast, within group active, they get to try out bits of those type of things. So then they can go, I don't think I can do 10 tracks with a bar, you know, and so they can go further, can't they, with it?
Yeah.
There are other programs as well. Yes. They're the ones we're talking about today, right?
Yeah, so, they are, because of the current sort of, you know, because of the COVID situation. You know, I think the online training is probably the way that we're going to go for the foreseeable. But so all of those are available. Just let me know if you want to do them.
I'm going to ask you about any standout memories.
Well, I think I might have kind of alluded to this before, but listening to people get excited about the program when I talk to them, because what we try and initiate when people are interested in the program is an actual call, because I want to know what their situation is, you know, where they want to go with it, you know, what the current status is, and to tell them about the programs and hear the excitement in their voices, and then after they've gone through the training and they're coming back and loving it, and the participants are loving it. To me, that is it, job done. To get people excited and committed because they want to do it, because they want to, not because somebody's told them they've got to do it, because they want to do it, is just amazing. I think historically, meeting the people that kind of run MOSSA and their international trainers, so humble, so knowledgeable, so easy to talk to, so interactive, and different. They were all so different in terms of their delivery style and personalities. And I think that's what we try to do with our own trainer team, sort of have that variety of personality, have that variety of experience, and delivery style, because it's the same content. It's like the instructor, we say the instructor goes out there, we don't want them to be clones or of the trainers. We want them to be themselves, and seeing our trainers go out there and do that, and the evaluations that have come back makes me feel like a proud mummy. In fact, they call me Mama MOSSA.
Yeah, that is exactly what we call you. Behind your back, to your face. Yeah, you are.
I'm like a cookie hen.
You are.
I look around the trainers, the assessors, and now more and more instructors now, as well as the operators. I mean, I've always had the relationships with the operators, but it's just connecting with people. It's what we do, isn't it? It's what we do. It's what we do.
100%, and that shines through everything you do. So it's for me, one of the, I think, really standout moments for me taking on MOSSA was also meeting the guys who are responsible for kind of its creation. I saw something different that I hadn't seen for quite a long time in the industry, and the word humble stands out. Inclusive, inviting, not about them being these, look at me. It was really, the word humble was just was a very important thing. And like when I said earlier, of course I came for an audition. Thankfully I got it, but also I was wanting to try out it, because this is the first time, I'd got to see it all those years ago, and I was going with open eyes, without any preconceived ideas. But what changed it was you guys and the MOSSA team. I was just like, okay, this is something I want to be part of. It aligns beautifully with my, with me, and I've seen that so much with other people. So yeah, it's amazing, and it'd be great, wouldn't it, to grow the family even more, and then you could be a bigger Mama MOSSA.
Oh gosh, we'll have to have a team of Mama MOSSA juniors.
No, just there's only one. Music licensing. So we know that online sort of music licensing and stuff. Do you want to talk about the online offering and stuff?
Yeah. I know there was, again, that over COVID times that we had a concession from the relative licensing people that our people could live stream from home, and that was withdrawn in earlier in 2020 for whatever reason. But MOSSA has taken care of that. So our MOSSA instructors can live stream. Just their MOSSA license will cover that. Obviously, there's no PPL to pay because the music is non-original. And as long as if they're doing it from home, they don't need a PRS license. If they're doing it from a facility, then I would think in 95 cases out of 100, that facility would have to have a PRS license anyway, by nature of the fact that they let people hire it, or it's a club, or it's a leisure centre. So it's kind of, as long as it's live stream, it's all taken care of. So to be honest, Teresa, it ticks a lot of boxes. You can live stream. It's your, for the instructor, if we're talking about the instructors, with that music all taken care of as well, and the quality of it.
I know what's not to love. It's kind of a no-brainer, absolutely. I do understand, though, why often people get into... there can almost be a bit of resistance to change, of course. When we love something, we want to stick with it. But I'm just really keen to invite people to explore it. Just to explore and experience it, because you know, we're not here to convert people into something they don't want to do. I think what they'll find is they'll go, oh my God, this actually really lovely. This aligns really lovely with me too, you know, and it, you know, we know the fit because we've had the advantages of experiencing it. We're just encouraging other people to try it. And I think they're gonna, you know, end up loving it, which is a good thing, because ultimately this is a product that is making people move better for life, you know, and be healthier for life. And, you know,
have fun along the way.
Yeah, we can have some of that as well. I'm going to ask you, I've got 2 more questions. Can they teach in clubs where there are other brands currently?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Most will sit side by side with everything that's out there. In all honesty, Teresa, we have you know, we've had operators before the instructor license came to be. We've had people who've had 2 similar programs on the timetable, but they're different enough. They will attract different people or the same people to both. You know, you can put some of the dance brands on the timetable together, and nobody would blink. You know, not to name names, but you could. So no, there's no problem with that whatsoever. And as I said, clubs or instructors teaching in those clubs, we can white label them, which means you can take the brand name. You can take the brand name and run with the MOSSA content.
So explain what that means. I know what that means, but if I'm Fred and I've got, hello, my name's Fred, and I've got a studio, right?
Yeah.
And what does it mean? What does that mean with the name?
It means that if you've decided to go down the route of having your own fitness brand,
yes, or
group exercise brand, and you want a group exercise product that can sit alongside that brand, most will allow you to change the name from group fight, group power, group groove to whatever sits in that genre, in that brand.
It could be Fred's Fight, or it could be, okay. The reason I say that is I think a lot of the time, you know, people they're a little unsure of what white labeling means, you know.
I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know.
No, I remember I had to be explained it a while ago, and you know, I was like, really? What, MOSSA will allow that? Well, yeah, ultimately the programming stays the same. It can be that it could be, you know, a slight change on the name that aligns with your personal branding.
Yeah.
So sorry, I just want to explore that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely bob on. Yeah, I couldn't have explained it better myself.
Perfect. Well, Fred's going to be happy. All right, so I'm going to start to wrap things up. Thank you so much for your time. I want to know I know where to find you. I even know where you live. Where can people find you if they want to find out more information?
So, you know what, probably the easiest way would be to email me at mossa@fitpro.com, but what I will want to do is talk to you. You know, once I get that connection, I love to talk to the people. So, yeah, initially mossa@fitpro.com. If you want more details, you can also see us on Facebook at MOSSA_UK. Obviously, you can private message us on there, and Insta is just starting to ignite our Insta account. So MOSSA.UK on there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, just come along and see us. I'd love to talk to people.
I know, and I think what I want to do is just say here that we're not about converting people, you know, like you must do this. Like if someone explores it with you and just reaches out, you're happy to chat it through, explore it with them, talk about the options. It's not like, right, sign up to this, because often decisions, you have to know they feel right. And what's, you know.
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, I will always, I think in most of my conversations, unless somebody's already like signed the agreement before I've even got it out to them, you know, I'll say there is no pressure on this. This has to be the right for you, the right time for you, the right fit for you. And there will be no pressure. There will be no pressure from us. And there hasn't been. I would say that you could go to any of our instructors or facilities out there, and they will say, all we want to do is support them in, you know, whatever way we are able to. We just want to support them and guide them. No pressure. I wouldn't like to have those calls.
Oh.
to me. So there's no way I'm going to do that to anybody else.
No, I think that's one, amazing thing about what you do, Lynne. I want to say thank you for your time just now. It's always lovely to talk to you because you are my mummy MOSSA, and but also it's really important for me in my job in FitPro to illustrate what the whole of the FitPro family is doing, and I just really hope that anybody listening or watching has really got to see behind the scenes about who we are, but also what we offer and why we offer it. I want to also say thank you to Bella, your dog, for not snoring too loudly in the background, because you did say she was snoring at the beginning before we started.
My feet now.
So thankfully the dog didn't snore too loudly. Yeah. So I think all in all, this has been a huge success.
Yeah, where the dog didn't snore. Woo!
So, all right, well, look, I'm going to sign off. I want to thank anybody or everybody who's taken the time to listen in to us, and we hope to catch up with you very, very soon. Yeah. All right.
Thanks,
and thank you, Lynne.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.